when I ask a question, instead of listening to the answer, I'm listening to this little voice in my head that is going over the question that I'm going to ask next or the comment that I'm going to make next.
We've talked a lot about the success of first impressions, but the bottom line is, are they really that important?
Welcome to the Living Life Our Way podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you live intentionally. Our goal is to take back control of our lives by living life on our terms. Join us as we work towards living life our way.
Welcome back. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Troy, and today we're going to be talking about making a good first impression. Now, the first question we came up with as we were talking a little bit about how to do so is a good first impression really what we're after?
So it's a great question. In a job interview, for example, a good first impression can get you that second interview or even the job.
That's right. But in a social setting, the purpose of attempting to make a good impression may be totally different and generally probably is. What we're looking for is validation. You know, oftentimes worrying about making a good first impression is more a manifestation of some insecurities that we might be feeling.
Yeah, for sure. So before we dive too deep into a first impression, let's make sure we're really clear on what we are trying to accomplish.
For sure. When we're interacting with another person, we have to be aware that there are certain things we just aren't going to be able to control.
And that kind of recognition kind of goes to the prayer of serenity of God grant me the courage to change the things I can't accept, to accept the things I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference.
That's right. And in a social situation, when we're interacting with another person, we can't control how they are going to feel about us. So focusing too much on that really is going to put us in a bad situation in terms of that interaction.
Yeah, it's more important to worry about what they're getting out of the interaction than how they feel about us personally. We worry so much about what other people think of us that we lose sight of what that person is feeling.
Correct. And the whole purpose of this interaction in most instances is to create a relationship.
Absolutely.
And people will remember much more how they feel than anything that we say. So if we go into these interactions with the idea that we're trying to help them feel good about themselves and we're creating a positive environment as part of that relationship, we're more likely to make the good impression than we want to, rather than showing off or trying to make ourselves look like something that we maybe aren't.
We've talked a lot about the success of first impressions, but the bottom line is, are they really that important?
And it's really a key question. In some instances, like you mentioned, a job interview, they really might have some real importance. And in those situations, we need to worry about them for sure and put our best foot forward. In social situations, pretending to be something that you're not or acting in a way that isn't genuine creates a problem if you're looking to create a relationship.
Yeah, it creates a situation where your first impression, you either have to maintain that in perpetuity moving forward, or your second impression is going to be a completely different one.
Correct. Yeah, and honestly, who wants to have a relationship with someone that pretends to be something they're not? So being genuine, it makes it simpler to develop that relationship and maintain it.
So in some respects, it comes down to respecting the other person and respecting yourself enough to just be genuine.
For sure. Now, another question that a lot of people may have is this something that you can practice? Can you get better at making these first impressions or navigating the psychology of meeting new people?
Yeah, I think for sure there's opportunities to practice. Anytime you meet someone is an opportunity to practice being interested in the other person.
For sure. And there's so many opportunities that we have every day where we're interacting with people, whether it's in the grocery store or on the train or in and out of the office. We're constantly passing by people. Each of those is an opportunity for us to interact with them and to practice being genuinely interested in them.
That is the best way to make a good first impression, is to be genuinely interested in the other person. It's not necessarily an interrogation of that person, but practice being interested in what the other person's saying, and every interaction you have with another person will be improved.
And one of the problems that I know I have when I ask a question is, instead of listening to the answer, I'm listening to this little voice in my head that is going over the question that I'm going to ask next or the comment that I'm going to make next. So a big part of this kind of ongoing practice and in these low risk interactions is ask a question and then earnestly, intently listen to what they're saying. Don't be formulating next things that you're going to say in your mind. Practice listening, practice being interested.
For sure.
So to wrap up, a couple things in terms of first impressions. One, focus on what you can control. That's all you can control. The second one is remember that it is a person that you're interacting with. Be respectful, be genuine. The first impression will take care of itself.
And in your first impressions of other people, be kind.
Thanks, Jeff. If you want to learn more about the shocking truths of making a good impression, check out our ebook or blog. The links are in the description.
Yeah, and next time we'll be talking about how to make sure systems thinking doesn't hijack action.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the next one.